Hello, my name's Kishelle, and I'm here to introduce the ABC Classic Story from ReviewㅅLEVERAM. This classic story series comes with 12 different stories of fairy tales and stories from our childhood. Stories include Goldilocks and the Three Bears, The Three Little Pigs, and more. What I like most about this book series is the attention to detail in the illustrations. In this particular book, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, you can see the very detailed illustrations of the bears. So although this is a classic story and animated most times, you can see the realism of the bears in the story. At the beginning of every book in the book series, it starts with the listing of the characters. I really like that in this particular book, how they're showing the various shapes and sizes of all of the characters. As a teacher of this book, it's very important to understand the sizes for the students. So here, before we even start the story, you can clearly see the different sizes of the characters in the story. What I also like about this book series is that you get background information about the story and its origin. So here, in this particular story, Goldilocks, we learn that the story comes from the United Kingdom. So the students are able to view a map of the United Kingdom and get to learn about its capital city, London. Additionally, they're able to see the flag of the country. So I think this is very important when learning about different countries around the world. In addition to that, we learn where it's from, but we also learn a fact about the country. In this particular one, we're learning about Big Ben or Elizabeth Tower. At the end of this page, we can also see the moral of the story. This is a great conversation piece for every teacher and parent so that the students can learn exactly what the moral of the story is and keep that in mind as they're reading the story. So again, what I love about this storybook and this illustrations, its attention to detail is very, very important. Here we can see how each color corresponds to the character. The father is in blue, the mother is in red, and the child is in yellow. You'll see that throughout the story. So as a teacher reading this book to your students, it's a great way of showing the association of different props and items within the story and who it belongs to. A really great conversation piece while teaching in the classroom. Additionally, facial expressions are very, very prevalent in this storybook. We can see exactly how she looks, feels, and again, the realism of her face I think is very important. Although this is an animated caricature of a story, you can still see specifically how this child looks. What I also like about the story, again, as I mentioned before, we can see throughout. So not only do we have the color coordination for the characters, but we also see the different sets. So this is a great way to also introduce math into the classroom, always in sets of 3, 3 and 3, and then the associations of colors. Another great description here is we're looking at size. We're looking at the different sizes and again, the color coordination for each one. So what I really do like about the story is the attention to detail for each one, but again, the happy ending and showing from what happened in the beginning to the very end. Another great story in this book series is The Country Mouse and the City Mouse. What I like about this story is the muted coloring of each character. Although it's an animated series, it also shows the age of the story. So it's not so bright and in your face and bold, but it also has a bit of a history to it. So again, we see the characters and the muted coloring, but also we have the map here, and we can learn a little bit about France, where the story of origin. So here, not only do we get to see the country and the flag, but we also too get to learn a little bit more about the country, specifically about its food. In this particular story, food is a huge character, and we get to learn about escargot, maybe something that the students don't always know. And again, we get to see the moral of the story at the bottom. What I think is most important about this particular book is how they use the coloring and the description of the backgrounds. So again, we get to see the food, and this is a great opportunity to have a conversation with students about what food is in your country compared to what they see here. What I also like about it is the attention to detail in the architecture. Here we can see lots of different colors, the shapes of the windows, and things like that. Here the students can compare what their homes look like compared to here in the book. The last book I'd like to talk about is Pinocchio, a common story that's very, very loved throughout the world. But what I love about this particular book is that not only do we get to see the same things with the map and the flag, but also too, because of the location of Italy, we get to see all of the countries surrounding it. So you can have a little bit of a geography lesson when you learn about this book. But also too, here it has its own pop-out. So here we know the story of Pinocchio with the long nose, and students get to view the long nose in the story. I think this is a great way to keep kids motivated and learning more and more about the different fairy tales. So in the end, I think this is a really great book series, really great for parents and teachers alike. What I think is important to note about this book series is that it was approved by English language teachers. You can use this in your classrooms and your homes as well to teach about different histories, different geography lessons, and of course, different expressions in English. Thank you for watching. If you are interested in learning more about this book series, check the description box below. Bye.